Hello, hello, and welcome to today's Principal Turn and Talk. And I am so excited. I'm on location today in the classroom of the one and only Miss Meyers. I have been looking forward to this opportunity to sit down in a conversation, as I have the pleasure always to talk to her, of course. But for you as well to get to know this amazing educator, my colleague who does this work at such a high level with so much love, with so much care for our students. It truly is beautiful to see her in action, and I'm excited for you to get the opportunity to get to meet her today.
Thank you.
Who is Miss Meyers?
Hello, everybody. I'm Miss Meyers. I am a 16th year DC teacher. Used to work at KIPP DC in Anacostia, and now been at Tyler. This is my 9th year, which is wild.
At Chisholm.
Yeah, at Chisholm. Oh my gosh.
I know. It's still so fresh.
I gotta get in the groove. At Chisholm, I'm also a writer of children's books and writer for teachers, and have a picture book coming out in 2026, my debut, which is really exciting. I'm a neurodiverse author, so I have Tourette syndrome, and I like to involve the education of neurodiversity and the inclusion of neurodiversity into both writing and teaching.
So beautiful. And we're going to have an opportunity to learn a little bit more about that today, everybody. But it's incredible, again, the way how Miss Meyers integrates inclusion and creativity in such a warm and loving way in her classroom. Now, Miss Meyers, it is back to school time. Again, we are in your classroom, your lovely classroom.
We're here.
Voila, right? And you recently published an article, which, again, we're all enjoying, and our staff is going to continue to dive deeply into the article for all of your great advice. Can you tell us a little bit more about this article you wrote?
Yeah, so I got the opportunity to write through Edutopia about the first week of school. And so the article is about 5 fun, fundamental catchphrases that you can use to set clear expectations, both in the classroom and can be used at home. So
Awesome. And what are those, 5 practices that you recommend in the article?
So something I like to do as a first grade teacher, obviously, is make things fun, right?
Yes.
So I like to call it the first grade fundamentals, or you could say first week fundamentals with an emphasis on the fun part. And I like to take the idea of rules that all of us have grown up with and transform rules into setting high expectations, which is very different, right? Like rules are things that people tell you not to do. Don't touch that. Don't do that. Don't go over there. And expectations are more of the what to do. Telling children in a clear way what you expect to see and how to do it. And so I also think that with first graders, obviously their attention is very different than, let's say, a 4th or 5th grader. So when we're setting expectations in the classroom, it's always really nice to make them short and sweet and fun. Maybe have a little sing-song tune or a rhyme, whatever it might be. And so the article is just 5 examples of ones that I use. And so it's an encouragement to everybody to come up with something that means a lot to them, something you value. But the ones that I value in my classroom are, the first one is called, if we break it, we fix it. And so the kids know, we say it all the time.
I've heard of
it. If we break a pencil, here's some tape to fix it. If we rip a page out of a book, here's some tape to try and fix it. And it doesn't mean you have to sit there for 2 hours until it's fixed. It's a try, T-R-Y, try.
Right.
You attempt to fix the things that are broken on your own, and then if you can't, teacher support. But it builds a lot of ownership in the classroom to be able to take accountability and to protect the space that we share as a team and family. So the first one we like to say is, we break it, we fix it. The second one is, if we don't do it now, we're still going to do it later.
Wow, yep.
And parents, this is a great one at home too, because when you're sitting and doing homework, sometimes you just need a minute. Sometimes you can't finish it in one sitting. And I like to tell the kids, like, it's okay if you're getting frustrated, take a break. And if you don't do it now, we're going to do it later. But then sometimes we haven't even started an activity and we already need a break. And so in those instances, I like to tell the kids, like, it's fine, but if you don't do it now, we're going to do it later. It might be during your fun time. It might be attached to your homework and coming home to mom and dad. So that's another one that gets us finishing things to fruition.
Ms. Meyers, I love that so much. What I'm hearing from you too is just this importance of being a warm demander, right? Like we have these high expectations. We don't lower the bar, right? We say, no, okay, well, you need the break, that's fine, but you still got to get it done.
Yeah.
And that's a great life lesson for our kids to understand.
Absolutely.
I love that.
And I think all of these relate to us as adults as well.
Yes.
There are many times when I'm given a task and I'm not ready to do it.
Yeah,
and
me too.
Not right now, but it has to be done, and that's a real world situation. Like we still have to finish things. We have due dates and we have deadlines, and so I like to instill those things in our youngest learners because as they grow up, it's just gonna
it'll just get stronger and stronger.
Get stronger. So the third one is we use our words and not our hands.
Yes.
This is a big one. Because for our youngest learners, before they're able to get words out and be able to speak and communicate with their friends from a very young age, they're using their hands to ask for things that they want, to get things that they want. And I think it's so important to give our kids the words they need to solve problems. So conflict resolution.
Yes.
You just don't wake up one day as a baby and you're like, I know how to communicate. It all happens through experience and through practice. So we use our words, not our hands is a big one up here on the second floor.
Yes.
We talk a lot about how to say, I don't like it when you do this. I apologize for this, or I'm not ready to apologize yet, because that's also real. Sometimes you're just not ready. And being able to resolve situations by saying that you hear someone, and asking what you can do to make it better, or giving like a handshake or a hug. So we talk a lot about using our words instead of our hands to solve problems, especially like recess, lunch, specials when you're not with your teacher.
Ms. Meyers, I love that. And everyone who's watching this, it's beautiful to see this in action. Ms. Meyers, teaches the children about how to find these words to resolve their conflicts during her morning meeting, primarily, but again, you emphasize it with them throughout the day. But to see them use this language when Ms. Meyers is nowhere around, right? Like she's not on recess duty this particular day, but the kids are playing basketball or, on the swings, and they say to each other, I don't like it when you took my turn. Like you can just hear the language coming to life. And like we talked about earlier with the other 2 points that you mentioned around how as adults, right, we have deadlines, we have things that we have to do and may not always want to do them. Same thing with conflict resolution, right? Like our world would be a much kinder, more loving place if some of these adults also practice these sentence frames and self-regulation. So.
I think all the time about what our world would be like if everyone had a healthy way of using their words to solve problems. And just really talking about how they feel. And the great thing about the using your words, not your hands expectation is that it can be really simple from the youngest grades, early childhood, early elementary. But in our 3rd through 5th graders, it can also be we use our words to express how we feel and not our hands. So I encourage like our older learners to say, I don't like it when you blank. It makes me feel, or I am feeling, and being able to express an emotion, and then giving their peer a way they can treat them differently. Right? So giving someone the tools, like, I don't like it when you get in front of me in line. It makes me feel like you don't see me here. It makes me feel invisible. Next time, can you please ask me first?
I love that.
And giving kids more leeway to use to expand their words.
Love that.
Yeah.
Building that sense of agency. Oh my goodness, Ms. Meyers, we could be here for hours talking about all of your wisdom. All right, keep us going. What else did you mention in the article?
Okay, so number 4 is when we work, we try our best, and when we rush, we miss the rest. And I like this one a lot because a lot of times, at least in 1st grade, we have our whole group lesson, we have our practice time at our desk, and then the kids usually are going to centers or small group time after that. And they're so excited to get to that time that they're like, how fast can I get this done? Hands it in, I want to go play, or I want to go choose first. And so throughout our work time, I like to repeat, when we work, and then they fill in the blank, try our best. When we rush, we miss the rest. And if they come up to me and say they're done, I'll ask them, did you try your best? Did you rush? What do you think? What do you think you can do to go recheck your work? And we talk about all of these things in the classroom. Like, how can I go back and look at my work again? How can I ask a peer to look over my work with me to make sure I haven't missed anything? What can I erase and do again? The whole point of erasers is that we can erase things.
Yeah.
We're not using pens for a reason.
Right.
So that one's a really fun one. And the kids also will say it to each other, which is great. All of these. And that's,
They do.
yeah, that's the whole point of using fun catchphrases that are very simple and are phrased in a way, in a first person point of view, so that kids can just repeat them.
Yeah.
And so you'll see kids at the tables, you'll see someone going fast, and you'll hear a student say, when we work, we try our best, don't forget.
Yeah.
And I think that's just really powerful because, again, it's giving words.
Yeah. Ms. Meyers, what I'm also hearing, and I hadn't thought about this way before, is that these are affirmations.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
you're
they
literally just speaking it into existence, what it is that we expect to have and what we expect to see.
Yeah.
And again, I love how you said it's not necessarily this rule, I'm the teacher, I'm in charge. It's no, like you said, giving the ownership back to the children. And all these ideas, like you said, too, can also apply to our families and our caregivers at home, right? Always do your best. Whatever you start, like, finish it. And if you don't finish it now, you're going to have to finish it later. And I know we're going to talk a little bit more about some other tips and ideas you have for families, especially at this start of the year. But we got one more from this cool article that I'll also make sure
this
we share.
one's your favorite.
Okay.
This is a shout out to you. So the fifth one that I like to encourage other educators to use, if they're making a list of 5 catchphrases, is to use whatever your school motto is. We know here at Chisholm,
Respectful, responsible, kind, and safe.
yes, and we hear that on the announcements. We hear that outside. We hear that during assemblies. It's on T-shirts. It's on emails. It's everywhere.
Can't get away
So
from it.
why not have it also in here, because they're already hearing it, and those are 4 meaningful words that we want our champions to do in the real world. We want them to be safe. We want them to be kind. We want them to be responsible. And so I encourage parents, educators to use the school motto and internalize it with your child.
Yeah.
So what I like to do the first week is to break those 4 apart and ask students, like, what does being kind mean to you? What does it look like? What does it feel like? What do you hear? And we'll make a list for each one and we'll talk about and we'll hang that up. And so that when we're seeing friends being respectful, responsible, kind, and safe, kids are allowed to shout them out. I see XYZ being responsible by blah, blah, blah. And so they're able to, throughout the year, take those words and actually, like, apply meaning to them. And I think that's really important, just to connect the classroom to the school. Like, we're not on an island.
No.
We're all one team.
One team, one school family.
Yeah.
I love that. Man, well, again, you heard it here first, everybody. All these great tips and strategies. Again, whether you're a first-year educator or you've been, teaching for some time. Ms. Meyers, I know, too, that when you were in high school, you were in the Future Teachers of America. Is that right?
Oh, no, that's actually, you're close. You're close.
were you in
It was
again?
actually elementary school.
Elementary school, yeah.
My elementary school program had a program called Teachers of Tomorrow, TOTS,
Something like
T-O-T.
that. Yeah.
And they chose, I think it was like 4 or 5 kids per grade level. And we got T-shirts and we got badges with our picture on it. And it was like once, I can't remember if it was like once biweekly or once every month. It was Teachers of Tomorrow Day, and we would get to go from classroom to classroom asking teachers, like, how can we help you?
Wow.
So they would have us, like, look at help with bulletin boards, or they'd have us help them clean and organize, or we would be able to work. A lot of teachers had me actually work with younger students with flashcards or doing, like, practice or sitting with them doing their work. And so teaching was, for me,
it's in her DNA
already.
Clearly, okay.
Yeah, I was there. I was ready. By 4th grade, I was like, where's my salary? I have graduated college and I'm ready to go. So
naturally, like, Ms. Meyers is a natural educator. You come in her classroom, you just feel the warmth, the love, and again, her expertise and her ability to really transfer information and empower our students. So I just always remember that. I was like, I know she's been
appreciate
doing
that.
this
Thank you.
for a long time.
I think maybe we'll do that one day here.
Maybe. We already have, I know you're paired with the 5th grade teacher,
Buddy
and you got
classrooms.
Buddy Classroom, and you started that initiative. Ms. Meyers has started several initiatives here at the school. school. She's also our vocal coach for our annual musical. Again, her resume is stacked. We want to turn now to our families and our caregivers. Again, you are our partners, whether you attend Shirley Chisholm Elementary and are part of our school family or wherever your school community may be. But the start to the school year can sometimes bring about, different feelings of and emotions, right? Often our parents and families are excited, like, here, take our kids, we're ready, for the school year to start. But also, like, how do we help them with homework and just all those types of things? So, Ms. Myers, curious to hear from you with your years of experience, starting from elementary school yourself, and also just what you've seen over the years. What are some of your suggestions for families as we start this new school year?
Wow, I've got a lot, but I do think to begin would be like to connect the classroom expectations to home life as well. Like we are a team, we are partners in this journey. We love your babies. We love your babies so much, and we want to all be one, a cohesive unit. So I think that a starter would be connecting with your child's teacher and asking them, what are the expectations? What are 2 or 3 expectations in your classroom that I can also do at home? I think every teacher would love to hear that, right? Like, or even the teachers in parent-teacher conferences asking the parents, like, what are some of your big expectations at home that we can also use? Right. I mean, I think kids respond to things that they hear often, right? And so whichever way that goes, if a child is hearing it in 2 places, imagine the power in that.
Absolutely.
Right? The rules are the same, but like the expectations aren't changing between home and school, and we got to get it done.
And you just gave us some great ideas even now. Like, if you don't do it now, you're going to have to finish it later. And have you done your best? Like, I love that. It's common language everywhere.
And there's so many you can do. And I would just, personally, the way I start with those fundamentals is thinking about the things that I value in the classroom and as a teacher. So, like, I value communication, so I want my kids to use their words. I value taking ownership, like people owning up to the things they've done, even if it's a mistake, being able to say, I did it, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. How can I fix it? I think like action's really important. So when you think about things that you value at home, how can you phrase those in a quick first person point of view? So that's just as starters. I think also getting ready for the school year, something that I personally love from parents is when I've gotten in the past a letter written to me on the first day of school that says, we're so excited to meet you. Here's a little bit about our child. And this is what they love, and this is what they enjoyed in kindergarten, and they're really sad to not be with their old teacher, and they're nervous to start their first day, but here are some things about them for you to get to know them. And I love reading those kind of things. So one of my tips would be like, write an email or a handwritten letter to your child's teacher, just advocating for your kid and explaining who they are, because the first week it's hard. It takes time to build a relationship. It takes time to get to know
That's a great idea.
every single child in the classroom, and I think those kind of things will help connect. So that's something to think about. I also think preparing with your child, the words to say, like I said, words are really important. As you approach the first day of school, like talking about, here are some words that you can use if you want to make friends. Here's how you ask somebody if they want to play with you. Here's how you ask if you can play or if you can join in on something, and have them practice using those words.
I like that.
Because a lot of times our kids want to do the right thing and they just don't know how to say it yet.
I love that you said that, Ms. Myers. I don't want to interrupt you,
No,
but
you're good.
like our kids naturally, I feel like there's this innocence we know that our children have. They're not out here trying to do what's wrong. They just don't know any better oftentimes. So we as adults have to model those expectations.
Yes.
I really like how you are expanding just beyond like the academic pieces to really focusing on the identity of our learners, right? So families as our children's first teachers, right? You know your child very well. You're their first teacher. You know them best. Share that information with us as educators, and at the same time work with us, like you were saying, to model and to practice these conversations that they're going to have about a variety of topics, including making friends, like you said, which is a huge one. I just love how you again see the beauty in our children, right? And the innocence and the opportunity and the brilliance that they have. So I just wanted to stamp that too.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I think So yeah, talking about different ways that you can navigate situations. I also would add to that, giving your child the words to giving your
We're on location.
Yeah, we're on.
Announcement.
This is the real experience, guys. You're getting the whole look.
We're good. I'll be able to hear it as well. But
Let's wait for them to be okay. I also think talking to them about how to advocate for themselves with a new adult, right? You might end up loving your teacher the first day. You might not. It might take some time.
True.
I don't love everybody I meet the second I meet them. Sometimes I need a couple days. Sometimes I need a couple weeks. Sometimes I need a couple months. But eventually, you warm up to them.
Yes.
So I think it's important to have kids prepared to also ask for what they need, right? A lot of kids are nervous the first week of school. They're afraid to tell the teacher they have to go to the bathroom. They're afraid to ask for some water. Because they just don't know if that's acceptable yet, or what the expectation is, and they're still learning. So I think it's important for your child to come to school and ask and be able to ask an adult for something, or say I need or I'm feeling XYZ. So I think that's important. Trying to think. I think those are the most important.
The top list. Again, there's a long list.
Picture books. That's what I wanted to talk
about. Picture books.
Okay, I'm a huge advocate. Yes, I am a huge advocate of using picture books in the classroom as a supplement to learning, right? I don't think picture books necessarily are, they're great hooks, they're great openers. I think they're great closers, and they're great reviews of supplementing material. I don't think they're the lesson entirely, but I love using picture books, especially for our really creative kids and storytellers and our visual learners who have to see things happening to really have the full picture. So I think picture books are great. If you're preparing for the first week of school, there are so many amazing, amazing books out there that you can pick up from the library. You can read on Sora on our DCPS system. You're able to access through that. And bookstores, whatever it might be, the free little libraries around town. There are just so many great picture books. Yeah. So I've got a whole list of them that maybe we can include on the YouTube. But first week at cow school, your first day at circus school, we don't eat our classmates, King of Kindergarten, Howard B. Wigglebottom learns to listen, the Book of Rules, which is amazing. You'll love the Book of Rules. It's hilarious. And How Did Dinosaurs Stay Safe are just a few of some amazing recent picture books that really model for our kids the feeling of being excited but also nervous about school. So
the title, what is it? We don't eat our
classmates. Yeah. It's a dinosaur. It's a dinosaur.
I like it. So much fun. And that's what learning should be, right, Ms. Meyers? Learning should be so much fun. That's how we really, progress and advance, and that's how these lessons stick. So today, Ms. Myers, you shared with us again the importance of making sure that we engage with our learners in a way that they can truly understand, right? By making it friendly, by making it deeply connected to our values of who we are and also who our students are and who they're becoming, and that we as adults, we make sure that we're modeling those expectations and that we are empowering our learners to find their voice, because their voice matters. They may be 6 years old, they may be 16, they may be 26, however old we may be. Everyone has importance. Everyone has beauty that they bring to this world. And so, Ms. Meyers, again, thank you for letting your light shine so brightly here at Shirley Chisholm Elementary, and the many different roles that you have, the leadership capacity that you bring to our school, and so many lives that you've touched over the years and will continue to touch through not only your direct instruction, but also through your authorship, and the books that you are creating and writing and sharing your wisdom and strategies with so many of us. So we're so grateful. And with that, is there anything else that you would like to share just as we prepare to wrap up?
No, I think that's it. I'm excited for the first day of school. I hope everybody else is too. And my door is always open for questions if you're around Chisholm. So
there we
go. Love to say hello.
Yes, let's make sure to keep up with Ms. Myers. There's a lot of big things happening for her, and we're here to cheer her on. All right, everybody. Thanks so much. See you next time in the principal's classroom or Ms. Myers' classroom. I don't know. Bye.